All right, this video is going to show you how to fill out your career project portfolio. So let's say my long-term career assignment was accountant. So you're going to tell me what your career is. And then to find the information to answer these questions, you could Google it. I found this website to be very helpful, and so I'm going to go to that website just to show you. Okay, and so once you get to this website, I click menu and then search, and I'm just going to type accountant. And then I'm going to click on this first link. Okay, and so scrolling down, talks about the work environment, what accountants and auditors do. And so it says a bachelor's degree in accounting or related field is required. So for required education training, bachelor's degree in accounting. And so where I plan to get this education, you can pick whatever college you want. I'm going to say TCU. And then it says tuition per year to attend this college. I'll look that up in just a second. Next question is this job considered self-employment? It is not. Most jobs are not considered self-employment. Self-employment would be like tutors or people who own their own business. And so like if you're a doctor or a teacher or an accountant, usually you work for a business. And so the answer for that is probably going to be no. And what state will you most likely be working in? You get to choose. I'm going to choose Texas. Describe the daily duties or common tasks you will have to perform on the job, along with the physical and mental requirements. So you can just list like 3 to 5 so that you know what your job does. And so for me, it says accountants and auditors prepare and examine financial records. Prepare and examine financial records. And then I can see if there's anything else. Doesn't really say. It does say work full-time. Overtime hours are typical during certain periods of the year. So I guess prepare and examine financial records is going to be enough. The hours and schedule I will include is full-time. Most of you are going to have full-time. Part-time would be like at Chick-fil-A where you're just working evenings or something like that. So my likes and dislikes is, let's say, I like working with finances. Something that you like. And then dislike, I dislike working overtime. Average yearly salary. So let's see. The median annual wage for accountants is $79,880. If there's a range listed, pick a number right in the middle. That would be easy to work with. And so for average monthly gross, I would have to divide that by 12 because that's the yearly. Okay, and so I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to get Desmos. It doesn't have to be test mode. I'm just number crunching. Okay, and so remember, round to 2 decimal places. You could even round to the nearest dollar. It's not a big deal for this. And so my average monthly gross would be $6,656.67. If you want to use a nicer number, like just 6,650, I'd be okay with that because we're just giving the average. And then for the TCU tuition, you can probably just Google that. Annual tuition will now be more than $61,000. An increase. Geez. Okay, so we'll just say about $61,000 per year. That's almost as much as our entire salary. All right, so that's how you would fill in the first section. That's probably going to take you the most time. And then the rest is the fun part. And so part 2 says finding a place to live. And so you can go to apartments.com to find an apartment, or if you already know which apartments you want, that's just a suggestion. So apartments. Don't give any website any of your information. Don't give your email address. Don't give your phone number. This is all just pretend, and I don't want you to give out any information. I don't want them contacting you. Okay, and so you can just pick a 1-bedroom apartment unless you're gonna choose to have a roommate. And so when you find this apartment, take screenshots or save pictures because you'll want pictures in your presentation. And so while you're finding this, go ahead and take pictures that you want to include in your presentation. And so I like the way these look, so I'm gonna pick these. Okay, and so here's a studio apartment. So let's say I want a studio. Those are really small. And so I'm gonna say the Sinclair Residences. You could always come back to this part, the Sinclair Residences. Will you live alone or have a roommate? I'm going to live alone. How much will rent be per month? And so if you choose the lower amount, that's probably like non-upgraded appliances, like older appliances. If you pick the higher amount, that's usually the one with all the upgrades. And so I like the upgrades, so I'm going to go with the most expensive one, which is $2,495 per month. That's kind of expensive, so I may have to go back and get something different, pick a different apartment complex, because that is really expensive for a 1-bedroom apartment. And then what kind of facilities does your apartment complex offer? So you would click amenities and see that they have maintenance, they have 24-hour access to some community amenities, air conditioning, tub, shower, heating, oven. Dogs are allowed. Usually they say stuff about like gyms and stuff. High-speed internet. I'm going to go ahead and add that dogs are allowed if that's important to you. . Okay, here's some stuff. Neighborhood, transportation, airports, reviews, and then here's some pictures you might want to include. And then include your floor plan. Usually it has stuff like a gym, pool, and so I'm going to go ahead and just write that down. And then just explore all that with whatever property you choose. All the ones that interest you. Okay, and then for your car, I picked AutoTrader or CarMax.com. Again, don't give any information to these websites. You're just pretending to shop. And so I'm going to go to autotrader.com. And then if you already know what you want, so let's see, let's say I want a Honda Civic. I'm going to, Honda Civic. Search. And then, so once you find your car, take a picture or take a screenshot, save a picture, download it so that you can include it in your presentation, because likely you're not going to be able to find the same car again because someone's going to buy it. And so here's a used 2019 Honda Civic. Don't pick a car that's more than 10 years old. Pick something that's less than 5 years old, because by the time it's 10 years old, you're probably only going to get 1 year out of it. So Honda Civic 2019 used Honda Civic. How much does the car cost? It says $20,854. And then how much are your monthly payments? They calculate that for you. So you're going to click See Estimate. Don't click on anything like that. See Estimated Payment. Down payment. So we're going to finance it. And then we're going to assume our credit is very good. And then for down payment, let's say you're going to pay 20% or a specific dollar amount. Let's say we've got $6,000 in savings. And then import settings. Don't do that. Oh, it says $304 per month. So you're going to have to include that in your budget. And then it says it will take 60 months to pay it off. That's 5 years. Okay. And so after you do all that, that's when you're going to figure out your net pay and then set a budget. And so your monthly gross pay you've already calculated. So you're going to scroll up to where you calculated that. You can use the easy number, 6650. And so 6650. And then to figure out the pay stub amounts, 15% as a decimal is 0.15. So you're going to multiply 0.15 times that 6650. And then if this job is considered self-employment, you have to do this percent. But for me as an accountant, that doesn't apply. State income tax, if you choose a state other than Texas, you need to look this number up. For me, I'm in Texas, so it's 0. There is no state income tax. And then Social Security, 6.2% is 0.062 times my 6,650. And then for Medicare, 1.45% is 0.0145 times the 6,650. And then we will also deduct 150 and 200 for health insurance and retirement. So 200 plus the 150 is 350. Okay, and so I'm going to use Desmos to calculate those other amounts. And I get 997.5, keep 2 decimal places, so 50 cents. I'm going to change that 0.15 to 0.062. And so this number would be 412.30. Change that 0.062 to 0.0145. $96, and that would round to 43 cents. So to figure out our net pay, we've got to add all these up. Okay, and so add, not the 66. We're going to add those up. So 997.50 plus 412.30 plus 96.43 plus 350. That adds up to 1856.23. And so we subtract all that from the original 6,650. And we get $4,793.77. So that's how much I'm going to take home as an accountant every month. And so when I set my monthly budget, I start with that monthly take home. So $4,793.77 in my job as an accountant. Okay, so that's one grade you're going to get for this project, is calculating your net pay correctly. Okay, and then for the budget, your rent, you go up to your apartment, is $2,495. That's almost half our budget right there. And then our car payment was $304. And then minimum for car insurance is $250, gas $60. So I'm just going to use those numbers. $400 for groceries, $75 per room. I have a 1-bedroom, so I'm going to say $75. TV, you don't have to have TV. I'm not going to use TV. Internet, I'm going to need internet. Cell phone, I'm going to need that. Dining out, not going to do it. Too poor. Subscriptions, not going to take any of those either. Amazon, Netflix. And so add all of these up. These are all your expenses so far. And so you add up all those expenses. and I get 3734. Okay, and so I'm going to subtract that from my take home, which is 4793.77. And I am left with $1,059.77. So all that is going to go into my savings. So whatever's left goes into your savings. And so then when you calculate your percents, you're going to take each of these dollar amounts, divide it by this net pay, and then multiply by 100 to get that percent. And so same with, I'm not going to actually do it, but this is what you would type into Desmos. Divided by the 4793 times 100, 250 divided by the 4793 times 100. And keep one decimal place for each of these. And then at the end, I'm going to check to make sure they add up to 100%. And so there will be a separate grade for that one as well. And then for the summary, make sure you answer these questions. They're just kind of like reflection questions over the project, and I really enjoy reading these, so do not skip the last page. And then part 7 is the presentation. So this says what you need to put on your slides. You can use Google Slides, Canva, whatever presentation you want to use for this, as long as you have all this information on your slides.